260. So you paired that with a guy like Maason Smith in the interior, another guy 6'6", 310, 315. My Kai Wingo might look like the odd man out on that one because he's 6 foot 280, 300, whatever he may be. And then you have your Jack Oviegofu or Braden Swinson, Deshaun Womack. Oh, and by the way, Harold Perkins is back. So I want to see that D-line. I want to see that front seven because I think if you have the front seven that you potentially think you can have, look, you know this and I know this. As an LSU fan, you probably feel pretty good here because you know the potential defensive line that you're going to have. You feel really, really good because you know that you have a pass rusher on a Harold Perkins on third downs and critical situations when teams are going to be throwing the ball. But guys like Maason Smith, guys like Mekhi Wingo, guys like Savion Jones, I think Savion Jones is better than the guy that he was sitting behind a year ago. I just do. I love Ali Gay. Ali has been on the show, I think, 2 times he was on the show. Loving to death. I just think the guy that was behind him is better than what he was. And it's not a slight at him because Savion Jones is a dude. That front core line, I think, could be really stinking good. Now, the thing about the front seven is I think that you have 4 linebackers right now that can play. Maybe even start for you. The things I'm hearing about Wes Weeks as an example, as the 4th guy on that depth chart. Guys, he's put on 20 pounds since January, and we sit here in August. He's put on a really solid 20 pounds of muscle. The dude has transformed himself, and he's kept a lot of the same speed. But you got Harold Perkins, Greg Penn III, and obviously a guy that we'll talk about tonight here in Omar Speights. Now, in case you missed it, LSU announced today, Coach Jake Flint and the strength staff announced today that the Oregon State transfer, Omar Speights, won the Iron Tiger Award for the best off-season or the best summer workout. Jake Flint said that not only for pound is he the strongest, but pound for pound he might be the fastest. Now, that's kind of hard to believe, but that's, if I'm not mistaken, for sure I heard him say he was the pound for pound strongest, but one of the pound for pound fastest. You know, and you've seen this so far, he is an instinctive player. Guys have rallied around him. He's come in here. He's not said a word. He's put his head down and got to work. Truth is, he's more than likely going to be the leader of your defense. He's in the middle of that defense. He's going to be the middle backer. And I know that Brian Kelly talked about him at SEC Media Days and at the Rotary Club last week. But now you're seeing him winning the award for the best offseason. You're announcing to your team, you're announcing to the world, you're announcing to the SEC that Omar Speights is the guy that you think is going to be the leader in the middle, not named Harold Perkins. Now you kind of just have that trust factor that you have a guy in the middle that can really lead your defense. We've talked a lot about this team. I think the biggest sleeper in everything that we've talked about during the non-playing portion of the year is I think that this front seven can be very nasty. They got good run stuffers. They got depth on that defensive line. You've got 3 or 4 playmakers that you know that you have at linebacker. Like I was breaking down the Florida film last night and just going back and rewatching some of these games. I was watching Ole Miss. Like Wes Weeks, for what it's worth and the times that he played, saved a boatload of touchdowns by running down a receiver at linebacker. You had things there. I don't think the front seven's better than Georgia, but I think it could be the second best front seven in the SEC, if maybe not the country, because you have those pieces and you have the depth now. I don't think there's a better pass rushing guy, a better maybe potential middle linebacker in the country better than Harold Perkins. He's the best defensive player in the country. It's going to come down what you can do at secondary. And I know what you're going to say. Well, Blake, why would you want to go and look at the front seven when those doors open for camp? It's because you're going to really need to lean on them. I know in time that I'm going to see, look, when they open those doors on Thursday, they're going to be going through some situational stuff, maybe even some fake little one-on-ones. I want to see them go one-on-ones when Brian Kelly gives those scrimmages, if he is going to continue to do that. He did that last year. I don't think he would stop now. I've said it. I think you're more talented. I don't think you're more experienced. I don't think you're a better unit. You're definitely more talented in that defensive back room than you've been in a long time, because you have potentially multiple NFL guys. You know, got another dude that I'm hearing a lot about this offseason is LaTerrence Welsh. Like LaTerrence Welsh doing like running stride for Chris Hilton. Because Chris Hilton clocked at 24 miles an hour this offseason. 24 miles an hour. That would break an NFL record, just so you know, or close to it. That's elite speed. You have a DB keeping up with him. I got to see it for myself. But this front seven, with another year under Jake Flint, getting bigger, getting stronger, getting Maason Smith to return, and the biggest thing, like, you're going to be one of the top teams on the defensive line. That's not what the front seven is why it's going to propel you to being one of the best. And this isn't a hot take, and this isn't even, you're probably going to, when I say this, you're going to probably be like, well, Blake, duh, like, duh, is the depth pieces. Guys, you have 3 or 4 interior defensive linemen that can rotate in and play right now. Jacoby and Guillory, Parrish Shand, can Quincy Wiggins finally give you some rest? I say finally, but he's only been here for a year. God bless it. He's only a red-shirted freshman. Can Jordan? I don't know if we mentioned Jordan Jefferson, but Jordan Jefferson. Like, now your defensive line does not have to. Mekhi Wingo does not have to play the most snaps at defensive tackle in the country. The one thing that I've been waiting to talk about the most is we're talking about these individualized pieces, like Perk, Speights, Jones, this dude, that dude, this guy, that guy. But one key piece, if you're going to be the freakish front seven of athletes that you know that you have, you got to get teams off the field on third down. You got better with Iley Gay leaving and Savion Jones entering. I will be real with you. I think you get better with getting Jaquelin Roy out of the rotational piece. I know Carter hates me saying that, but I do believe that you do. I think you got the depth along the defensive line to play. I think you got a Deshaun Womack, Ovie Oghoufo, dudes that can get after the passer and really stuff the run. This Omar Speights winning the Iron Tiger Award. Your front seven is sneaky one of the best in the country. Well, Blake, what about the back end? I get that. I get it. Savion Jones came into LSU 6'5", 230. Guys, he's 6'6", 260. He's LeBron. He looks like an Adonis. You walk off that D-line walks off the bus, it's a bunch of dudes.